Peace for Ukraine or Urain.
So every system is probably also according to the custom of the situation of the land that they live in. It did not necessarily come from the order of the religion, of that religion. Probably at that time, everybody must marry, and marriage was very highly valued in their custom. So if this order go against the trend of society, they might not be able to survive. Yeah, just like you live according to your country's laws, things like that. Yeah, or obey the ruler of your country, things like that. So they probably incorporate that into their doctrine. Otherwise, even if we're not reincarnated in this world, we can reincarnate in any other world anyway. Yeah, because we also got, we have got essence, so we can find a way. There are countless of universes, countless of planets in the universe, so it's not desperate that we have to be reincarnated into this area anyway. So I don't think they would make that such an importance, into their life. Besides, if you be born a human, but then you don't have an enlightened master and you live such a miserable life, lack of everything, then what's the use anyway? Or born into human life and don't love each other and don't have peace with each other, make trouble for each other, war and all that, then what's the use anyway? Huh? So I don't think any real original religious order would emphasize that everybody must get married. But they do emphasize, like, okay, you have to take a temperate measure about your sensual life, yeah? Okay, the purpose is maybe just to propagate, like to have children, or maybe to, I don't know why, probably to practice the method that they are teaching, to be good, to have more spiritual practitioners in the world, then that makes sense, yeah. But if just born to just make a human for nothing, then I don't think it makes much difference, is there? But I don't ever emphasize you to make more children or less children. That is your business, huh? Okay? But just as every spiritual doctrine would emphasize that you be like moderate in everything, yeah? Even in eating, drinking, or socializing, moderate. So also in marriage life, we have to be like moderate. Yeah, that's it. Huh? Okay? Yeah. Because we're not using each other for like just pleasure objects, you know what I mean? It has to be love and it has to be a purpose also. Yeah? Okay, to bring children into the world, to give other souls a chance to practice the Guanyin method, something like that. It's just whatever noble intention, it makes you noble, that's it. It's not like it's something forbidden or anything. So like we eating, we enjoy it, but also because we would like to prolong this vehicle in order to practice the Guanyin method. Yeah? If just eating for the sake of gluttony, then it doesn't make a human out of us, does it?
No.
So the reason or the masters emphasize moderation in everything concerning the physical activities, including sexual, appetite, drinking, anything at all, is all about moderation. Yeah, everything in moderation is good for you anyway. There should never be any overdoing or overindulgence. So in that case, most of the religious orders say the same thing, and that would make sense, huh? That would make sense about that. Otherwise, there's nothing really forbidden, no? Okay, even if you forbid people, they do it anyway. All right. So where were we? Why do we talk about that? You want to hear some more jokes, or maybe another time? We're just jesting some joke into the spiritual practice. Today we're very chaotic. Huh? Yeah, not serious Buddhas at all. God. where are we going with this kind of jokes? I really love jokes, so I can't resist. But I have promised you to say something else, right? Well, it's a very short subject anyway. Short news. Yeah. Flying news. Flying and out quick. Yeah. Uh, it's not really that important to you. It's just sometimes some of you ask some questions. Yeah. And I noted it. So I check it out for you, and now I answer you. Yeah, it might not be you who sit here. It might be you who sit in China somewhere, huh? Or in Japan somewhere. So here's the answer. Whoever asked the question. Okay, according to my research, yeah, which has no proof, no evidence, no scientific approval, nothing. Okay, so you take it or you don't take it. Very simple. No cost, is free. So the research outcome is like this. You see, as I talked to you about the NQ before, huh? It's just like IQ. You can also practice and enlarge it. Yeah, a human quality normally is given to you. NQ, like noble quality, was also given to you before you were born. Yeah, according to what you had from last life, this is left over. That's what you get. Not like heaven has a different favor for Mr. Smith or Mrs. Muller from Hamburg. It's different. It's not like that. Okay, so suppose some people have only like 3% NQ from last life. Why? Because he had been just a very ordinary and a simple man. He didn't do anything good, or he didn't feel anything for anybody. He didn't feel love or compassion for anyone. Perhaps because he wasn't required to do so. Perhaps because he wasn't acquainted with a group of compassionate people, and thus he wasn't motivated or taught or trained himself by those people, by associating with them, so that his NQ didn't go any further than that, or he was not exposed to any situation which evoked his compassion. Suppose you have compassion in your heart, but you have never seen any situation that you need to show your compassion about. Yeah? It doesn't touch you because you don't see anything that is suffering. So how you have compassion? You see what I mean? Therefore, even God, Buddha, the Son of God, have to come down here in order to see. In heaven, there's no requirement for anything like that. Everything is blissful and happy and peaceful. So, if you want to develop compassion, only in this world, in the physical world, yeah, or in hell, perhaps, if you can survive in there, yeah, or if you can, just like a lawyer goes into prison, huh, without being affected by it. Okay, anyhow, or suppose that guy or that girl had been in the past like some animal people, like maybe a low NQ animal person, like those who have prey animal people, the predators that they have to kill to survive. Those are lower NQ than other animal people. The very peaceful animal people, like the elephant people, for example, they have 30% NQ. Well, one of our most revered religious leaders has about that much. Don't blame him. He has no chance to see any suffering things. Maybe he's just been studying in a catechism school, study the Bible, read the words of God all the time, and he just does service in his church, which is just wedding or burial. So he has no chance to be exposed to the real situation. He probably sees it on TV. If he watches TV, maybe he doesn't even watch TV. Go, maybe you practice, you don't want to watch TV. Yeah. Or he reads the newspaper and so people died. But it's not him who died. It's not him who has pain. So he doesn't understand it. So he doesn't develop his NQ that much. Yeah. So to develop NQ, you just take what you have, the capital gain, the capital that you had before you were born. It will be with you at the time of birth, and it will continue to be with you unless you use it to maximize, to multiply it, okay? Or it won't grow any further than 3% or 4% or whatever percent that you had on the day you're born. I told you already, I mean, the majority of people have only 3, 4, 5% of NQ. Why? Because that's what they had when they were born. They were born with it, and then they don't have a chance to develop. They can develop. The more you are exposed to the touching sense, of the needy, of the suffering, the more you feel your compassion being touched. And then you want to do something for that person or that animal person or that situation.
It's not eggs! It's violence! It's not honey! It's violence! Human meat is alive! Animals do not want to die!
And then that's how your NQ grow up, like the interest rates in the bank. You see what I mean? Yes. You can have the capital, just put in the bank doing nothing, or you can invest it. Yeah? You can do business with it, and then it will grow. So HQ and NQ can be developed. It's inborn, but then it can be developed. And like everything else, the more you use it, the more you have it. It's funny. Not like the more you use it, the more you don't have anymore. It's not like that. It's not like money. The more you give, the more you don't have. Yeah, but it's not material things. These things. The more you use, the more you have. So saints are developed from ordinary people. It's like that. It's not like everybody was born with 300% of NQ. Oh, there are such people. Not in our group, except one person. Yeah, for example, in our group we have maximum one person. The maximum at the moment is 60% NQ. Many of you have only 3, 4, 5, 6, 10%, 15, 20, 30%. It's very good already. But you are expanding it. You see, that's the difference. Because you are exposed to the teaching. It's like nourishment for the NQ. If you're exposed to some other different situations, your NQ might even be less or just stand still. Yeah? If you are exposed to noble teachings and you know how to do it, you get about to do it, and then it really becomes real. Maybe first you don't feel so much, but it will become real. Because if you're really touched by the sense of suffering, then you really want to do something. And your love really awakens in your heart. That is when NQ begins to germinate and grow more and more. Okay? Yeah. But meanwhile, at least you do something. Even if you don't feel so touched. But suppose you exchange the position, like you are that suffering person. What would you like to have? Then it's very clear to you. Yeah? If a person in an earthquake and they injure, of course they need medicine. Or their house is lost, of course they want a tent at least. They want water. They want clothes because they lost everything. Just exchange your position. Then you know exactly what to do and how you feel. Even if you don't feel exactly like the person who is affected, you begin to be more identified with each other. You'll be one with each other, and then you will feel more and more what other people feel. You see? But God will put a break somewhere so that you don't suffer too much. Otherwise, if you suffer like everybody else overwhelmingly, then you cannot bear. I mean, the inside feeling, and you cannot bear. Oh, I'm surprised. I'm not really surprised. That the people who people revere a lot, at the top of religious orders, don't have that much NQ. Also not enough, not much HQ, human quality. Because if they are just there from birth or from inheritance, or from tradition, then that doesn't develop their noble quality or compassion. Compassion and noble quality have to be in real life, real action, real exposure to suffering. I mean, not yourself maybe, but to see somebody else suffer, yeah? And then something will be awakened in you, the love that is pure and unconditional, a true love. Then your NQ will develop. Even if you're not doing anything much for that person, of suffering, just your sympathy, your desire to do something. Even you cannot do anything, but your desire to do something to lessen the suffering of that person in front of you, that is already a good potential nutrition for your NQ. Yeah? Okay. So do not feel afraid of suffering, or do not feel afraid to help other people, because it's only good for you.